Hello and welcome to another Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm giving my 5 favourite Christmas films. Before I run down my top 5 Christmas films, I wanted to make a quick comment on what I consider to be a Christmas film. Most of the films that I review on this channel are art house movies, films that have poetry, films that are artworks, films that make you feel and think, challenging, ambiguous, poetic, the kind of work that may be asking you to sit with discomfort and uncertainty. With Christmas films, the normal rules do not apply. For me, Christmas films are about nourishing my inner child. A great Christmas film taps into my memories of Christmas as it felt when I was young, when the season was magical, full of promise, and when stories about miracles, angels, and kindness were accepted without question. I judge a good Christmas film by whether it evokes that childish sense of wonder and comfort, not because I still believe in it in the same way, but because part of me doesn't want to completely let it go. And once a year, I think it's more than okay to indulge that. So this is not a list about great cinema. I'm not pretending these films belong in the same conversation as the masterpieces of world cinema. This is a celebration of the joy of Christmas movies. For once, I'm giving myself permission to stop being serious and simply enjoy the ride. So here is my top 5. I've watched them all again this Christmas season, so they do reflect my current attitude towards them. In 5th place is Miracle on 34th Street, the 1994 film directed by Les Mayfield. Now, there are several versions of this film. The classic 1947 version is entertaining enough, but this 1994 version has always been a really enjoyable watch for me. It is sentimental, it is overindulgent, it is a bit silly at times, but it has a really warm tone and a heartfelt portrayal of belief and kindness. Richard Attenborough is the perfect Father Christmas. He does bring a depth and gentle humanity to the role. This isn't just caricature. He really is Santa Claus. And it has a nice, if predictable, story of family. It makes for a sincere piece of festive drama. One thing that's really important in a Christmas music is the music. For me, Christmas music is unique. I think it does the same childhood nostalgia thing I was describing earlier. And this film has a beautiful main theme tune. It would be over sentimental in any other context, but works perfectly in this film. In 4th place is Elf, the 2003 film directed by Jon Favreau. This is a film that I got to take my small children to see when it came out at the cinema, and they both loved it. So that gives it a special place in my heart. They're both in their later 20s now, but we've still watched it together over many times over the years. And last year we saw a screening at the cinema together. It still holds up as a big screen experience. Like Miracle on 34th Street, this is a film about family and belonging. So again, it makes a great festive drama. But the highlight of this film is Will Ferrell. He's the heart and soul of the film. He plays the part with a convincing sincerity. Buddy the Elf is juvenile and zany, but he's such a beautiful character, so innocent and so warm. And it's funny, the comedy in this film still makes me laugh out loud. Ed Asner makes another great Santa Claus, as good as Richard Attenborough, I would say. This is a true Christmas film from beginning to end, and one that I'm definitely happy to watch every year. In 3rd place is the 1992 film Muppet Christmas Carol, directed by Brian Henson. This is the film that I always put on when I'm putting up my Christmas tree, and then again when I'm wrapping presents. In the same way that the 2 Wicked films made me smile all the way through them, this has a similar quality. Musicals are definitely not my genre, but there are certain musicals that, when I like them, I really love them. And Muppet Christmas Carol is one of those. I think the songs are great. They're really catchy when you've heard them a few times. This is a faithful telling of the Scrooge story, but it's really good fun. The characters are innovative and really creative. And there's one thing that I really love in this film. In this world of CGI, it's such a joy to see almost everything done with puppets. I'm such an admirer of films that use practical effects rather than CGI. I've watched this film many times, and the more I've seen it, the more I appreciate the amazing puppetry. It works so much better that Michael Caine has puppets to play off. It works very well. The story, of course, is perhaps the quintessential Christmas story about someone who's lost their way, who has a distorted view of life, and then going through a series of experiences with the ghosts that show the error of his ways, and then redemption. And the other thing that's great is the comedy. It's childish, typical Muppet humour, but it still makes me laugh. So now to my top two. In second place is the 1947 film The Bishop's Wife, directed by Henry Costa. I really, really love this film. I could easily put it at number one, but I'll explain why I didn't shortly. The actors in this film are just great. These are classic actors in really enjoyable performances. Cary Grant, David Niven, Loretta Young. This is classic Christmas cinema at its very best. It's over-sentimental and it's predictable at times, but it's still a great story, well written with warmth and a lot of humour. Again, I do laugh out loud at certain points in this film. There are moments that make me really emotional in this film. The scene at the dinner table with David Niven and Loretta Young, Dudley telling the child a Bible story, the choir scene in the church, and when Dudley plays the harp. All these scenes really choke me up. I don't often cry, but these scenes always bring a tear to my eye. And I absolutely love the ice skating scene. Just pure joy. I always watch it with a big smile on my face. The Bishop's Wife is fantastic and always a safe bet for a festive uplift. So to my number one Christmas film. It's probably predictable, it's probably the top of many Christmas film lists. But for me, my number one film is the 1946 film It's a Wonderful Life, directed by Frank Capra. This has many similar qualities to The Bishop's Wife. Great actors, James Stewart and Donna Reed, and a really good story. It is perhaps over-sentimental, as it's probably true to say that all good Christmas films are, but it has a profound humanity and emotional resonance. Its message is not subtle, but it's always beautiful, about the value of each individual life and the importance of community and generosity. And it's about sacrifice and disappointment at life not turning out as expected. It is a bit of a toss-up between The Bishop's Wife and It's a Wonderful Life for top spot in my list. The Bishop's Wife is a bit shorter, and I think this serves it well. It's a Wonderful Life is around 25 minutes longer, and I'm not sure the extra length actually is needed. Also, The Bishop's Wife is all set at Christmas, where Wonderful Life is set at Christmas at the beginning and the end, but apart from that, it isn't a Christmas film at all. I am a believer in a Christmas film being a film set at Christmas, not necessarily about Christmas, and yes, Die Hard is a Christmas film. But the Christmas content of Wonderful Life is so strong that it clearly makes it a Christmas film. It's a film set at Christmas, but that spends most of its time in non-Christmas flashbacks. It just works for me. The thing that gives Wonderful Life the edge is that I think it's actually a great film. It's not just cozy Capra sentiment, it actually contains moments that edge into psychological darkness, especially in the Pottersville sequence. There are some horror expressions on Stewart's face at times when George realizes that he doesn't exist, or when he watches the world he knows collapse into something hostile and unfamiliar. Stewart often holds an expression of open-mouthed shock and terror that feels closer to Vertigo or Rear Window than to A Christmas Fable. It's the look of a man confronting an existential nightmare rather than a moral lesson. This gives the film real bite, I think. Without them, the redemption at the end would feel sentimental. With them, it feels substantial and well-earned. The other thing that I love about Wonderful Life is James Stewart's performance. By most accounts, he was deeply moved while playing George Bailey. It's a Wonderful Life was his first major role after returning from World War II, a period that apparently left him emotionally shaken and struggling to readjust to civilian life. And that personal experience fed directly into his performance, especially in the famous scene where George prays in the bar, which he has said later that he wasn't just acting, he was drawing on his own feelings of despair and vulnerability, giving the moment an authentic rawness that you really feel in that scene. I think it's these features that makes It's a Wonderful Life a great film, not just a great Christmas film. The Bishop's Wife is a great Christmas film and a lovely black and white classic, but for me it's not great filmmaking in the deeper sense. It does exactly what it sets out to do and it does it beautifully, but it never really stretches the form or risks much emotionally or visually. It's a Wonderful Life, by contrast, does. It stands up even if you strip Christmas away. It takes us into darker psychological territory. It asks more of its lead performance, and it uses the language of cinema in a richer, more expressive way. That is why, in the end, I think it deserves to be called not just a seasonal favourite, but a genuinely great film. So they are my top 5 Christmas films. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.